Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all for this today's session. From last few sessions, we are discussing the second chapter of plastic engineering subject, processing and welding of plastics. And from this, we have started the processing of the plastic material. And in the previous few sessions, we have completed injection molding process, then extrusion molding process, and calendaring operation. In previous session, we have completed. Just I will take the previous session review within few minutes, and then we'll continue our today's session. Okay, in previous session, we have discussed this part, extrusion molding, how this extrusion molding is conducted. And here, with the help of this extrusion molding, we can manufacture both solid and hollow products. And we are using this extrusion molding machine. You can say this is a extrusion molding machine. Okay, and here we have discussed the steps from with the help of that raw material, how we are converting it into the desired product. Okay, so this is the diagram, overall diagram for extrusion process. This initial part we can term it as a extruder. Then after completion of the extruder process or extrusion process, whichever product we are getting from the die opening, we are performing the cooling operation, okay, to get the final product. And with the help of some rollers or coolers, we are performing the size rectification. And at the end, with the help of some cutting operation, we are collecting that product, final product, in the required size. Then we have discussed the different types of extrusion like solid, hollow, and co-extrusion. Then we have discussed the applications, advantages, and disadvantages of the extrusion molding process. Then the calendaring operation means with the help of whichever material we have obtained at the end of extrusion, just we are converting that into the films. That is termed as calendaring, and to perform this, we are using the rolls, or you can say the set of rollers. These are termed as calendars. Okay. So this is the calendaring operation. You can perform calendaring operation on PVC material or polyethylene material. Okay, PVC is nothing but your polyvinyl chloride. Then on polyethylene material also we can perform this calendaring operation. Okay, so after this calendaring operation, now we will move towards the next type, that is the blow molding process. Okay, now for a better understanding of this blow molding process, first I will show you the products manufactured with the help of this blow molding process. Very simple example is your plastic bottle. Okay, plastic water bottle. That bottle will be manufactured with the help of this blow molding. I will show you some pictures of the applications. Okay, these are the cold drink bottles. Okay, plastic cold drink bottles, you can say. This is manufactured with the help of blow molding. Okay, then different kinds of containers. These are the water storage jars. Okay, in different tube-shaped material for used in the cosmetics. All these are manufactured with the help of blow molding. Okay, different containers, drums. Means, in short, you can say that this blow molding process is used for manufacturing of the hollow components. Hollow components we are manufacturing. We are not manufacturing solid parts here. And we are manufacturing it. The products will be manufactured will be hollow, and in that hollow portion we are storing whichever useful material is there. Okay, suppose this plastic bottle is there, then it is used for storing the water or different cold drinks, or for storage of some chemicals. Okay, or some cosmetic material. It may be your shampoo or face wash. Okay, then in case of the pharmacy sector, whichever medicines are there. Medicines, that bottles are also manufactured with the help of this blow molding. Then different storage tank I have highlighted there. Okay. All these are hollow parts or hollow components. These are manufactured with the help of blow molding process. And the material used generally is PET material. Okay. PET means polyethylene terephthalate. Here I have mentioned the name PET, polyethylene terephthalate. Okay, here you will get the full names. Here, this is the PET material, polyethylene terephthalate. Okay. Now, initially, this blow molding process, we are just using it for manufacturing of the toys. The hollow toys are there. You have seen that toys, hollow toys are there, lightweight hollow toys. We are just joining them. Inside it will be hollow. Initially, we are using that this blow molding process for manufacturing that toys. Then after that, with the help of different materials, nowadays we are manufacturing the plastic bottles. Nowadays means from I think in 1945 or 1940. The first cold drink bottle for that Pepsi or Coca-Cola company, they have manufactured the plastic bottle using the PET material. Now we will move towards the how this blow molding will work, or what is the working principle of this blow molding. Then its different types. Okay, is brief classification. So first I will go through this summary. Blow molding is a molding process used in the manufacturing industry to create hollow objects made of plastic. Okay, please remember this point. We are having one practical session. It's not exactly we are going to conduct the practical, but only somewhat like it will be like a tutorial only. One assignment we have to write based on this blow molding process. Then please remember this point. It is only used for manufacturing of the hollow objects. Then here, like very much similar to the other process, what it involves is explained here. Now I will explain it with the help of a diagram. Initially, there will be one material. It will be termed as parison. A tube-like material will be there. It will be termed as a parison or preform. Okay, and it is like a tube shape. Means it will have one opening. It will have one opening, and from other end it will be closed. And at the one end, one small opening will be there, and through that opening, we are blowing the air. What we are going to do? We are blowing the air, like we are blowing that balloons in such a way that initially that balloon will be in very small shape, and it is having one opening, and other end will be closed, and through that opening, we are blowing the air, and it will expand. Okay, it's very much similar to that process. We are performing this blow molding operation. Okay, I will explain that with the help of the diagram. These are some points. You can go through it later. I will explain it with the help of diagram. Same points will be written in this slide. Okay, so these are the components which we are going to use for performing the blow molding operation. First, I will explain the components, and then I will explain the steps. Okay, now in the components, the first component will be our parison. Okay, this will be the parison. Parison is nothing but it will be the heated material. Some preheating will be done in the form of a tube. Whichever material, suppose for manufacturing of the plastic bottle we are using PET material. Then PET material will be there, and it will be in the form of a tube, and we have done some preheating. Okay, we have already performed some preheating. That's why the name is given as preform or parison. This is the parison, and at the top side one opening will be there. Then this is our mold. Okay, and this mold will be present in two parts or two halves. Halves are nothing but two sections. Okay, this is the one half or first half of the mold, and this is the second half of the mold, and it contains that mold will contain your mold cavity. Cavity means your product shape will be there. When you join these two mold halves, it will give you the product shape. That is your mold cavity. Overall structure will be mold, and inside that your mold cavity. Mold cavity is nothing but from that you will get the shape and size for your final product. Okay, and here some cooling lines will be there. Okay, whichever material is there, it will get cooled. In the mold cavity itself, some we are circulating some coolants here. Okay, and then this is the air hose through which we are going to provide the air. Okay, and this part I will explain you later. In some parts here, depending on different types, either we are going to use the injection molding setup, or in some parts we are going to use the extrusion molding setup initially to prepare this parison. Okay, first we are going to manufacture or prepare that parison or preform. Or to manufacture that parison, we are going to use extrusion molding or injection molding. From raw material, first we will manufacture the parison, and after that we are going for the blow molding process. Got it? Then okay, these are the parts or components of the blow molding process. Now I will explain it with the help of the diagram. Okay, so these are the steps involved in the blow molding process. This is the first step, that is the parison. Preparing the parison, and the preparation of the parison is done by using the extrusion molding or injection molding process. Okay, here it is shown. The extrusion molding setup will be there. One die will be there, a die opening, and by extruding the material. Already I have explained that injection molding and extrusion molding. Initially, what is our aim? To prepare this parison. Okay, and for preparing this parison, we are going to use extrusion molding or injection molding. That setup you have to draw here. If you are not drawing that, that is also okay. For your understanding, I have taken this diagram. Please don't get confused. Okay, initially we are preparing the parison. Parison is nothing but a tube-like structure. Okay, having one opening at, and one end will be closed and one end will be open. Got it? Like this. So a cap कशी असते, like this, similar structure, but opening will be very small. Okay, and it can, this parison can be prepared using extrusion molding or injection molding. Okay, then whichever parison is prepared, that we are taking and we are placing it here between the two halves of the mold. Okay, this is the first stage, preparing the parison and placing it in between the two mold halves. These are nothing but the mold parts. These halves, or you can say the mold part. Parison is prepared and it is placed between the mold parts. And this is the first stage. Then in the next stage, what we are doing, just you have to close that mold. First, parison is prepared, placed in that mold parts, and that mold is now closed. This is the second step. We have closed the mold. Then in the third step, what we are going to do, we are going to provide, or we are going to do the blowing operation. That's why that name is given as a blow molding process. Whichever parison material is there, it has one opening at the top, and through that opening, compressed air is blown. Okay, air is blown. Then what will happen here? Please compare these two diagrams, this diagram and this diagram. What has happened here? We are blowing air from this top side. Then what will happen? Air will enter through this opening and it will press this material against the mold cavity. whichever walls are there, these are the walls of the mold cavity, all material will be pressed. It will be pressed due to that air against the mold cavity, walls of mold cavity, and it will acquire the shape of that mold cavity. Okay, and we will wait there for some time. As this mold contains the cooling channels also, we will provide some cooling time, then that material will get cooled. Okay, this parison is initially it is heated. Initially it is heated, then after the blowing, we are providing some time for cooling, and then this mold parts are, or we can say that mold is removed. Okay, mold is removed, and that product is ejected. We are taking that product out, and sometimes there may be some extra material may get added. Extra material may get added. That extra material may be termed as these are pinch off. Okay, it will be termed as pinch off or flash. It is nothing but some extra material may get added to your finished product, and sometimes it will require some finishing operation. Okay, now depending on the type of blow molding process used, the finishing operations are required. Okay, there are three types. In some blow molding processes, no extra material will be attached, means no flash or no pinch off will be there, means it does not require any trimming operation or finishing operation. But in some types of the blow molding process, it is required. That we will discuss in the brief classification and subtypes. Okay, now please draw this diagram, and if you are having any query, you can ask me. Okay, these are the 4 stages. The first stage is preparation of the parison or preform, then and placing it in the mold parts, then closing of that mold, then in the third stage blowing operation, then removal. Okay, product removal will be done, and ejection of the component is will be done. Okay, and here you have to take care that when you are blowing the air, simultaneously cooling will happen, as in that mold itself we have provided some cooling channels. Okay, if you are having any difficulty, you can ask me. Very simple example is your plastic bottle. We are manufacturing that cold drink bottles with help of PET material. Okay, polyethylene terephthalate, or different hollow components. Water storage tanks or jars are there, or for storing your chemicals. Okay, chemicals or different oil tanks are there, that are all manufactured with the help of this blow molding process. Okay, if you are having any query, please ask me. Yes. थिकनेस मॅटर करते नाही, म्हणजे तुम्ही डिसाइड करायचं ब्लोइंग करताना. थिकनेस जास्त नसते इथे. इट विल बी वी आर मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग थिन कंपोनेंट. जास्त थिकनेस नसते. जाड जास्त जाड कुठं असतं कन्सिडर असे सेंटीमीटर एकदम मिलीमीटर मध्ये काय नाही. Which storage material is there, it is in dimension should be in mm only. Plastic bottle असेल, storage tanks जरी असतील, मोठे storage tank ना, like छोटे छोटे tanks किंवा cups, कोणती ते दुसरी प्रोसेस असतात, ते ग्लासचे असतात. ग्लास असतं ना ते प्लास्टिक. हा प्लास्टिक मीन्स we can manufacture it Blow molding process will be there, but some parameters will be different. Okay. Okay. Now we will move towards the classification of the blow molding process. Now, this blow molding process is classified in basic three types. Okay. Extrusion blow molding process, extrusion blow molding process, then injection blow molding process, and stretch blow molding process. Okay. Now, and each process is further classified in two types. Like extrusion blow molding process is classified as continuous and intermittent extrusion blow molding process. Then injection blow molding process is classified in single stage and two stage injection blow molding process. Then similarly, stretch blow molding process is classified in single stage and two stage stretch blow molding process. Okay. Now, question will arise here. What is the meaning of this single stage and two stage? Okay. This continuous and intermittent is similar to single stage and two stage only. Okay. Now, first I will tell you what is this single stage and two stage process. Now, in this blow molding process, which operations we have performed? First, Parison preparation, then placing it in the mold, then closing it, then cooling it, and ejection of the product. Now, when all these operations are performed on a single machine, okay, whichever operations are there in this blow molding processes or whichever steps are involved, if we are performing all operations on a single machine, then it will be termed as single stage. Okay, it will be considered as single stage blow molding machine process. And whichever concept you have used, that type name you can give. Okay, and if we are performing these operations on different machines, suppose the Parison preparation or preform preparation is done on one machine and blowing operation is done on the other machine, blowing and cooling and ejection operation is performed on the other machine, then it will be considered as the two-stage or intermittent. Okay. Have you understood the difference between single stage and two-stage? And that continuous is very much similar to single stage. Continuous means all operations will be performed on single machine. Intermittent means initial operations will be performed on one machine and few operations will be performed on second machine or other machine. Okay, so on that basis, this classification is done. Now, just I will explain these three types: extrusion, injection, and stretch blow molding process. First, we will go with the extrusion blow molding process. Okay, here diagrams are there. This is the extrusion blow molding process. Now, just the difference will be there in terms of preparation of the Parison. That Parison is prepared with the help of one extruder, and with the help of die opening, it will be of a tubular form. We will get the Parison. This is the Parison. It will be in the form of a tube, and inside that opening will be there. Okay. Simply we are performing extrusion operation. This part will be extrusion, and we are manufacturing the Parison. Parison is nothing but a tube-like structure. One end will be closed, and from one end opening will be there. And with the help of this extrusion, this Parison is manufactured. Then it is placed in the mold openings or mold halves. Then the mold is closed. Then through the one end, we are blowing the air. Okay. Then as air is blown, what will happen here? As this is the opening, that air will force the whichever Parison is there, that material will be forced against the mold or that mold cavity walls, and simultaneously cooling will be done. Due to that, what will happen? It will get solidified. It will acquire the required shape, mold cavity shape. Okay, got it? And here you have to take care that whichever thickness is required. Suppose I want to provide some manufacturing one bottle, and some thickness is required, 2 mm or 3 mm like that. That thickness will be controlled here only. While manufacturing the Parison only, I will control the thickness. Thickness will remain as it is. Just it will be blown against the that mold cavity walls. Okay. Here, please understand this. Whichever thickness of that final component you want here, this thickness, it will be controlled here only in the initial step while manufacturing the Parison. Whichever die opening we are going to use in this extrusion, depending on that opening, here the final thickness will be determined. Okay. So at the end, after the sufficient cooling, the mold will be open, and whichever final product is there, it is injected. Okay, ejected from that mold cavity, and we will get the final product. This is the extrusion blow molding process. Now, next is the injection blow molding process. Okay. Here we are using the, for preparation of this Parison, injection molding process is used. Okay. Whichever setup we have used in the injection molding process, that setup will be there, and we are manufacturing the Parison there, Parison or preform. And after manufacturing that Parison or preform, then the remaining operations we are performing, remaining operations will be same. Just for manufacturing that Parison, here we are using the injection molding process. And after completion of this injection molding process, we will get that Parison. Then it is fixed in the cavity, that mold. We are closing it, and from one side we are blowing the air. Okay. And at the end, after completion of the cooling, we will get the final product. This is the injection blow molding process. Okay. Then we will move towards the third type, that is the stretch blow molding process. Small difference will be there. Okay. This is your preform or your Parison. Okay. Some small amount of heat is provided, or it is also termed as preheating, and then that Parison is placed between that mold parts, and it is closed. This is the mold part, closed mold. Okay, now what initially we are doing, we are just stretching it. Okay, this is stretching or pre-blowing. Very small means we are stretching it lengthwise. We are doing the stretching of that Parison. Okay, this is the initial stretching, or you can term it as a pre-blowing operation. And then in the final stage, the full blowing operation is performed. Just we are simply performing this operation with the help of air only. Okay. Here we are providing the controlled amount of that air, and here means full blowing operation will occur. Whichever Parison is there, it will be pressed against the walls of the mold cavity, and after sufficient cooling, that mold is opened, and we will get the final product. Okay. Now all the types, just small differences there in injection molding, extrusion molding, and stretch blow molding process. Okay, depending on the word, stretch or injection or extrusion, initial difference will be there. You can easily find that whatever difference in this all three types is in the initial process. Initially, that Parison is prepared with injection molding operation. Initially, that Parison is prepared by extrusion molding operation. And here, whichever Parison is there, we are performing some preheating, and we are doing the stretching. Initial small stretching of that Parison is done, and then we are going for the full blowing. Okay. So in this way, these three types are there of blow molding process: injection blow molding, then extrusion blow molding, and stretch blow molding. Okay. Now I have highlighted some specific applications. You can go through that. First, you can draw these diagrams. Just draw this diagram. Other two diagrams will be very much similar to the first one. Just you have to add the setup. Just draw this third diagram. Or you can draw this, please draw the cycle only. Full chart you can draw. You can easily understand it. Please draw this. Some preheating and some stretching or pre-blowing is there. Okay. I will move towards the next diagram or next part with the applications. Okay. Now we can use this blow molding for different thermoplastic materials. Okay, for example, for HDPE, that is high density polyethylene, and LDPE material, low density polyethylene, for manufacturing of the different shape bottles, toys. HDPE material is generally used for manufacturing of drums also. Then polypropylene, where the bottles are required to sustain little high temperature range. We are using that polypropylene material. Then PVC material to manufacture the transparent bottles or oil resistant containers. Then PET material, that is polyethylene terephthalate. Okay, whichever cold drink, soft drink storage bottles are there, or your water bottles, we can manufacture with the help of this PET material. Then these are some applications. I have sorted some applications with the types also according to types. These pharmacy PET bottles are manufactured with the help of stretch blow molding process. Okay. Then these storage tanks and small capsule bottles are there. These are manufactured with the help of extrusion blow molding process. Then the cosmetics packaging in jars or different toys are there. Okay, that are manufactured with the help of injection blow molding process. Okay, all these are hollow parts. Just what you have to remember, we are manufacturing only hollow parts. Whichever here I am mentioning toys, that toys will be hollow. It will be hollow only. Now these are some advantages and disadvantages. There's a low tooling cost and fast production rate. Then ability to mold the complex parts also. Very little scrap will be there. Okay, scrap will be very little. Now here, as compared in this scrap generation, out of the injection molding process and injection blow molding and extrusion blow molding. In extrusion blow molding process, scrap will be more. Whichever scrap is there, scrap means wastage. Okay, initially I have shown you that some flash here, some flash extra material will be there. Pinch off. This is also termed as pinch off. Some flash extra material will get attached to the your product. That is nothing but your flash. Or after performing some finishing operation, some scrap will be generated. Now, when we are using extrusion blow molding process, scrap generation will be more. And when we are using the injection blow molding process, scrap will be less. Okay. Then, as compared, if you compare the different types, extrusion and injection blow molding process, this injection blow molding process, it will generate the very minimum scrap will be there, and that's why you can say that its processing time is also less. Hence, it will be more economical process. Okay, out of these two types or three types, this injection blow molding process is more economical. Because what is the reason behind it? Because scrap is less, hence material wastage or loss will be less. And in injection blow molding, it will be performed with the faster rates. Means production rate is very high as compared to the extrusion. Extrusion blow molding. I'm telling you, just using the word extrusion means extrusion blow molding process. And in injection blow molding, whatever the changeover time is there. What is the meaning of changeover time? Processing time means time required to manufacture the one part or one component. That is the processing time. And what is the changeover time? change over time. What is the meaning of change over time? Change over time means suppose now with the help of that setup, I am manufacturing one product. Now I want to manufacture another product with different shape. Then I have to make some changes. Suppose whichever mold cavity or some die is there, you have to change it. Then time required to do that. If you are want to manufacture another product, then what we are doing, it will be termed as change over time. Okay, we are changing the setup according to the product requirement. It will be termed as change over time, and that change over time is very less in this injection blow molding operation as compared to the extrusion blow molding. It will take more change over time. Okay, so these are some advantages, process wise advantages and disadvantages. Okay. Yes. Now, in the disadvantage, you can highlight this point. Only this blow molding can be used for manufacturing of the hollow components. I have repeated that part again or point again and again that we can manufacture only hollow parts here. Okay. And that you can write in the disadvantage also. Then defect may be seen. Defects means whichever I have told you, that pinch off or flash, that is nothing but the defect. Okay, you have to add some extra operation to eliminate that. That will be termed as the defects. And more thick parts cannot be manufactured here. Okay, with the help of this blow molding, thickness will be very small. These are the disadvantages. Some advantages are there, some disadvantages are also there, and already have explained the applications and working principle along with the classification. Okay. Now, how much is time? I think time is about to finish. Okay, I will stop here only. Please enter your roll number in the chat box. Those who are attending through online mode, please enter your roll number in the chat box. And nice. Okay, you can leave now. You can continue with your next session. I will stop here.